joining me. I want to show you a really fun winter cupcake. This is great if it's snowing or if it's not. Just during the holiday seasons, it's a really fun holiday cupcake. So what we're doing is a polar bear. What I've done is rolled out some white fondant here, and that's fairly thin, not too thin like fabric, but thin enough that you're still able to enjoy the cupcake. And I just went ahead and put a little bit of buttercream on the cupcake so that it adheres to that. You want to make sure that this is a fresh buttercream, that it hasn't had time to crust over so it really can grab this fondant. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and lay this circle of fondant. I just use like a 3.5, 4-inch cutter on that for a standard cupcake. And I'm just going to kind of use my palm and my fingers to kind of soften the edges down and round that out to make his face. So we'll set him down as our base. And now what I want to do is cut out his cheeks. Since I have the white fondant out, I'm just going to knead this back together. And about the same thickness. This is just a detail, so you can roll it a little thinner if you need to. And you'll notice I just pick it up every time I roll it just to kind of make sure it's not going to stick to the surface, because you don't want it stretching out of shape. Okay, so I've got that nice and thin. And this is just one of the sizes from the round plunger set. There are 4 different sizes in there, and some are really tiny and some are really big, but this is a really good size for his cheeks. So what I'm going to do is 2 of these. And then I can set that aside. And what I'm going to do is take a little bit of my clear piping gel. And I just want to put 2 little dots to make that adhere kind of towards the bottom third of the cupcake. And what I'm going to do once I have those on there is give them a little bit of pink color, as if he's got some rosy cheeks while he's out in the snow playing. So I've got, this is called a pale shrimp. It's got a little bit of a peachy pink to it. So I'm going to take a little bit of that, take the excess off my brush so that I can just really lightly kind of touch that with color. And it does kind of make it stand out. Make sure those are adhered well. It helps it stand out as cheeks once we have the rest of the face on there. Okay? Let me set that aside, and then we're going to go put on his nose and his eyes and his ear. I'll tell you what, while we got the white fondant out, let's go ahead and do his ear. So again, just kind of kneading this back together. And I'm just going to take a pinch off. This is about the size of a pea. And I'm just going to roll that into a ball and lay it on a nice dusted section of my rolling board. And I'm going to take my ball tool that has a large end and a small end, and I'm just going to lightly push kind of towards the bottom third of this and kind of open up the top part of it. And then, let me get this in my hand so I can show you a little closer. What I want to do is kind of pinch the end so that it tapers down. So again, I'm going to open that up a little bit and just pinch that bottom part down. So again, with a little bit of the piping gel, I'm really just going to do one ear because I'm going to do a little hat that's going to go over on the other side. So I'm just going to nestle this down and give it a good push to kind of flatten that bottom part down again and really make it adhere nicely. Okay? So now we're going to do his eyes and his nose. We'll do his eyes first. And I'm going to put these, again with the small end of my ball tool, I'm just going to kind of indent here to give the black candy beads a place to rest. And again with my clear piping gel, just a little bit of glue, a little dot in each of those. And then I want to get my candy beads out. And I just set a black candy bead down in there and one on the other side. And that's his eyes, easy. And then I'm going to be ready to do his nose. For that piece, I want it a little bit larger. So I'm going to grab a little piece of black fondant and just roll this into a ball. And I'm going to kind of taper it down towards one end like a teardrop. And then again with my ball tool, I'm just going to very lightly, you don't want to make a really drastic nostril here, just really lightly down towards the bottom, put a couple of little nostrils down there. And then again, just right above the cheeks, a little dot of piping gel. And I'm going to push the nose down right on top and just give it a really good firm push. Okay, and then you can go back if you smash these out a little bit to let those know again that they're really there. Okay, so last piece is his cap, okay? You can, if you want to, you can take an edible marker and give him a little mouth or a smile or whatever you want, but I'm just going to leave that off. Sometimes it's really easy to go too far with these, put too much detail on, and then it kind of loses its cuteness. So I'm going to go with a little bit of red fondant. Don't need much for this. And I'm just going to roll it flat like I did my other pieces. So I've rolled out my red fondant now, and I'm just going to cut this into a triangle. And then what it's going to do is it's going to bend over. Now, since I know that this side has a little bit more powdered sugar on it, I don't want to waste my time with dusting that off. This is going to be the most exposed part. So I'm just going to kind of put my piping gel right along here. Enough to stick. His hat goes there. And you can bend this over a bit if you want to. Like it's got some character. You can put a little ball on there on the end if you want to. But I'm just going to put a little rim of some more black fondant on there. So I'm taking a little bit of black fondant, kind of making a snake with it. So this is what this looks like now, and then I'm going to flatten it out. You could do this in green or any other color you wanted to. And I'm going to take the wavy side of my 2-wheel cutter, cut off the edge. Just gives it a little bit of depth of character, something else to look at. And then just cut along the other side. And then I'm going to kind of eye up how long that needs to be, cut it off. And then again, a little bit of piping gel just right along the edge. Kind of make it stick. And then place on your wavy strip to look like a bottom part of a cap. Sorry, my hands are sticking there a little bit. There we go. Okay, so that's the polar bear. You can see that the cute little cap is over one side of his ear and the other ear is exposed. Again, if you wanted to, you could draw a little mouth and make him cute. So that's the polar bear Cupcake. I think he's really cute, and I think if you involve the kids, you can come up with some fun little faces that you can try to make them all a little bit different. Maybe have one winking would be cute. But if you pop these in these little single cupcake containers that we sell at Sweetwise, that's a really great way to just give away a single cupcake, and I know somebody's really going to enjoy that. Thanks for watching.